Did a poll on my Instagram, did a poll on my subscription page, asked around, and as it turns out, a lot of people are really curious to know about life as a travel presenter, which is convenient because I happen to be one of those. Anyway, this week's vlog is all about travel show hosting. It's about my experiences in the industry, what I love, the challenges I've had to face, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything, even including tips on how to be a travel presenter if you sort of had that dream but didn't quite know how to get there. I'll cover all those things in this video. There are timestamps below in the description, so if there's something in particular that interests you, feel free to fast forward. Let's do this. Took a bit of a break, tied my hair up. It's getting way too hot. Honestly, feels like a lion's mane sometime. So the first thing that I often get asked is, what does it take to be a travel presenter? What are the qualities that are sought after and looked for when people are going through applications from travel show hosts? And it's funny how people think that the only thing that is necessary here is a love for travel. Wouldn't that be nice and easy? Of course you have to love travel. Of course you have to have a passion for what you do. That goes without saying, and that is the case for any job out there. Now, I think that there's a lot of different qualities that we should go through because some of them aren't as obvious as others. These qualities are going to help you get noticed. They're not necessarily keys to getting your dream travel presenting job, but they are definitely very, very helpful, and they're going to push you to the top of, choices or a short list potentially. And those qualities are, first and foremost, work ethic. I can't explain to you how many presenters I've met that were like, oh, can you believe it? It was a 10-hour day. Oh my God, I can't believe they only had sandwiches for lunch. I'm not sure I want to travel that far on a night flight. I mean, look, you are not going to be treated like royalty in most of these jobs. You are there working for a production company that has the same value as any other production company on this planet, which is time is money. And if you have that sharp work ethic where you arrive on time, where you're punctual, reliable, responsive, always replying to emails and phone calls as soon as you get them, completing your research on time, performing on camera always, that is going to differentiate you from another presenter who potentially has the same amount of experience as you but doesn't have that sort of determination and work ethic. Sometimes in Africa or sometimes in Europe, in my experiences, there have been days where we would go for like 13, 14 hours straight, but you don't say anything. No one says anything because that is the nature of the job. That is what you signed up for. So if you are in a mindset where your work ethic is able to handle all of that and you push through with professionalism, then I guarantee it, that company will want to book you again. The other thing that I love to point out is how fearless the best travel presenters are. For example, I don't understand anything about cars. I don't do cars, can't even drive, but I love Top Gear. Why do I love Top Gear? Because those guys are fearless. They say yes to anything and everything, and it seems that whatever the show throws at them, they'll just do it and they'll make a funny scenario out of it. And I think that is so admirable, and it's something that I've definitely, good diction, another one, definitely been trying to do more of in Africa. Just make sure that you are a yes person. A travel presenter that's a no person will not make a very entertaining show. I have notes, I'm organized. The other thing that I wanted to point out is good interview skills. Often, travel presenting requires you to be interacting with a local or an owner of a local business or somebody that is going to add value to whatever you're presenting. And it is your job to make that person look like the most interesting person on the planet and to act like the most interested person on the planet in whatever it is they're doing, even if you secretly think it is the most boring thing on earth. Not easy, but can be done with practice, and I promise you it will pay off in how the viewers then respond to your show. And obviously you need a good connection with the camera as well as a good connection with your surroundings. So if I'm doing this on camera, if I'm being like, oh, that's the Taj Mahal, that's really nice, no one's gonna care. So what you want to do instead is engage with the viewer. Think of it as your best friend who's coming along on this journey with you, and also engage with your surroundings. So connect the two things together on camera. All right, those are just some of the qualities that I thought of that I think make a good travel presenter and that I believe to be crucial when you are applying for jobs and when you're getting ready to host a new show. If you can think of any more, please comment below and I'll take a look and respond. Okay, so say in the previous section you were like, check, check, check. Yep, I've got a great work ethic. I've got a great connection with the camera, have great diction, good interview skills. Yep, I have it all. What do I do now? And the answer is you make a show reel. But hold on, you're probably thinking, Leila, how do I make a show reel if I don't got no experience? What you're going to do is you are going to make your own show reel. You're going to film yourself presenting whatever it is you want. It can be a holiday, it can be your hometown, it can be a house tour of your home, it can be an interview with your best friend, literally anything you want, just to show producers and agents how you come across on camera. Here's what I did. I took my best friend on holiday for her 30th birthday a few years ago, and I brought my camera along, wrote a little script. We were going to the Maldives, so I wrote this little script about what I wanted my 5-minute show reel to be like, and I just gave her the camera, and I was like, film me. So she filmed me. Then I got back home with all the footage. I learned how to video edit, and I made my own little travel presenting reel. Hi, my name is Kristina, and I'm a crazy traveler who'd like to take you on my adventures all around the world. First stop, the Maldives. 3 fun facts about the Maldives. Number 1, it's composed of 1,200 islands, most of which are still uninhabited. Number 2, the national music is called Bada Beru and is mostly based on drumming. And number 3, the sand that you find here is only found on 5% of the world's beaches. That's because it's made out of corals and never heats up. Pretty cool, huh? Now come, let me show you where I'm staying. What I found to be really important in that video is to have at least one interview, just to show agents and producers that I can interview somebody, that I don't need to be coached, and that, you know, somebody can hire me for events as well as for travel presenting projects, and I will be able to have that interaction. And the other thing that I focused on is making it fun and watchable. Producers and agents don't have a lot of time. They're not gonna watch your 5-minute show reel from start to finish. They're just gonna pick out sections probably, and the first 30 seconds says it all. So in the first 30 seconds, make it dynamic, make it fun, make it watchable. If you can make people laugh out loud, that's great. If you are a more serious presenter, then get them so engrossed in the footage and so interested in what you're doing that they can't stop watching. That's up to you to do, and it's up to you to be creative. What I did is, I think it was a really fun tour and treasure hunt around the island where I was staying, and I interviewed a really funny staff member, and I got everyone to dance. Yeah, lasted about 5 minutes. There was a bit of buffoonishness, a bit of me being a complete idiot and making a total fool of myself, but you know what? In travel presenting, that can be a good thing. You not caring about what you look like on camera is a huge bonus, so I highly recommend showcasing that you can do that. I just found a bottle. I am so excited, and Nicola here is going to help me reveal what's inside.
Certainly. Let's check it out.
I can't wait!
And the prize is 2 young coconuts for 2 days in the Lagoon Bar. Congratulations!
Amazing! Thank you, Nicola. Thank you. So what is the coolest thing anybody's ever found in one of these bottles?
I'd say maybe a Starlight Cruise.
Wow! And how long have you been with the resort?
This will be my 11th month.
And what's your favorite part about being here?
Helping people celebrate life.
I love that. I love that, Nicola. My last question for you is, do you like to dance?
Yes.
Let's dance! But later, what do I do next? I got my travel presenting show reel. What now? Well, I'll tell you what now. Now you go online and you spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours finding the right agents, the right production companies, the right producers, the right contacts, the right websites, and sending out that show reel along with a nice headshot. Headshots, another thing, by the way. What is your persona? Are you a fun travel show host? Are you more serious and informative? If you don't know, that's fine. Just get a couple of different headshots. That's what I did at the beginning. You know, I got a smiley one with glasses to look like a bit of a geek, one sort of like serious one in a nice suit jacket. And all those different personalities worked out really well depending on what job I was applying for, so I would just pick the right headshot for the role. But I think it's really important that you establish what your personality is like on camera before you do that, because if your style changes from project to project, that's a little bit inconsistent, I think. So you have to have something that's yours. You know, you have to have that little bit of a USP that you bring along from job to job to job, and then what you look like can obviously change a little bit, but not too much. Okay, people ask me, how do you find the right agent? How do you find the right production company? How do you know who to send it to and who to avoid? And I would like to have a little section in this video about things that you need to be aware of when selecting your agency or the production company that you want to contact. With agencies, anybody that asks you for money up front, stay away from. Run from that agency. That agency is most likely a scam, and there are no agencies that are going to ask you for money up front. An agency takes a commission from whatever work they find you and whatever job you complete. Normally, it's about 10 to 30%, I would say. I know one agency that takes 50%, but that's like, whew. One of my agents took 20% and another one took, I believe, 15%. So that is the norm that you would ideally like to stick to. But at the beginning, don't be picky. Just make sure that you have thoroughly checked them out. Go to the websites of the actors or the presenters that they already represent, see what projects they've worked on. And the other thing that I would like to point out is that agencies often specialize in different things. So don't go to a modeling agency if you want to be a travel show host, or if you think that you only want to work on, let's say, news documentaries and Vice style videos. Don't go to an agency that just represents entertainers at shows. You have to be quite specific about who you target, because you won't look good targeting the wrong agency. It'll just look like a mass email. And say at the beginning you get a lot of rejection and you don't find the agent that you're looking for, that's absolutely fine. You can still apply for jobs by yourself, but just take into consideration that you will have to do all the paperwork, all the contracts, all the invoicing, that kind of stuff. I personally don't mind doing it because I don't mind reading through a 20-page contract if it means that I'm being fairly treated and fairly paid. But some people don't really have the patience for that, or they prefer to pass that on to somebody else. And in that case, it is better to get an agent, but that is what you're paying for when it comes to the commission. And the other thing is casting websites. Casting websites are an amazing thing because they give the opportunity for new travel show hosts and actors to find work from pretty much anywhere in the world, and you don't even need to have an agent for it. Anybody can access it and create a profile. But that also creates a bit of a problem. Since anybody can access it and create a profile, you get a lot of listings on there that just seem too good to be true. And you know why? Because they are. They are scammers who are willing to take advantage of people who desperately want to break out in the industry. So if you see something that you feel is a bit dodgy, a bit too good to be true, don't apply. Please don't think, oh, but maybe it is a thing. Oh, but maybe I will get 20 grand for sitting on a beach and doing nothing. No, you won't. So just scroll past and go on to the next one. I guarantee you those websites are really beneficial. There's a lot of good opportunities on there. Just learn to skip the trash, basically. I'd like to close off the section of the video by saying, where there is a will, there is a way. That came into my head because I was so determined on pursuing this path when I first got into it, that I would just find any way to contact any production company, any channel, any agent, and I would spend, I mean, it must have been hundreds of hours finding the right path for me to get to it. The way I saw it is, there's this place, there's hosting a travel show, that's where I want to get to, and there are hundreds of different routes to get there. Try this one, doesn't work, that's fine. Number two doesn't work, that's fine. Number three. Every time you get a rejection, that's what you have to do. Just find another way to get there. Don't give up, because at the end of the day, if you give up, you'll just fall into the category of the tens of thousands of presenters that did give up. But the ones that have gotten their dream job and the ones that are doing what they love at the moment are just simply the ones that have gone through those 99 routes to get to the 100th one to find that that's the one that worked for them. If you want to go the easy way and ask somebody for a contact at this channel or a contact at that production studio, that's fine, but make sure you actually have your material before. A lot of people write to me on social media asking me, oh, hey, so do you have contacts at QVC? Kristina, can you put me in touch with the people from this channel and that channel? No, I mean, I'm sorry, but that's like me contacting Neil deGrasse Tyson and being like, yo, Neil, do you have contacts at NASA? There's just so many steps you need to do before. Please get your show reel in order. Make sure that you're happy sending that out. Make sure that it's quality stuff. Make sure that you are a quality presenter, that you're comfortable being on camera. Practice, get headshots, research the market, find the right agent and the right company and the right production for you, get your diction in order, have a great command of whatever language it is that you're presenting in. Those are such vital things that I would actually feel bad giving anybody a contact of any channel. Not that I have it, but let's say that I did. I wouldn't give them the contact without knowing that that person first had all those things. It just puts them that much closer to their dream job. It puts them that much closer to being on that ladder. Why would you start at the bottom when you can start like halfway up? That's the way I see it. And yeah, I hope this was useful. Sorry for the rant. Next question. What is a typical day on a travel presenting job? That's something that I get asked often and something that's very hard for me to answer because no 2 days are the same. For example, in Africa, where we can't predict nature, where we can't predict what wildlife we're gonna go see, we wake up at roughly 5:30 a.m.-ish, and then we go have breakfast, and as soon as the sun is starting to rise, we will go out and we will drive around and see what wildlife and what interesting things we can spot and we can film. And that's quite challenging because since you don't know what you're going to be filming, you don't have a script to learn, you don't have a set schedule, so it's completely unscripted for that reason. And whatever I was seeing at the time, that's what I had to narrate, that's what I had to talk about. So you constantly have to be on your feet with that sort of schedule.
But honestly, just sit here for hours and look at them, learn new things about them, because I feel with elephants there's always something to learn. Just when you think you've seen it all, you know it all, they just surprise you. As you can see, the 2-month-old puppies are the smaller dogs from the group. I actually expected them to be teeny tiny little things, but they've stopped denning 3 weeks ago, which is quite a while, so they've managed to grow a little bit since then.
It's completely unpredictable and a lot of fun, very exciting. We would come back for lunch, and then a few hours later we would go out and we would do the same thing over again until sunset. We would film dinner and then we'd go to sleep. And then there's the other format, like for example the Germany travel shows that I did for Travel XP, which is where you get a set schedule of what you're filming every hour of the day. So you would wake up at around 6 in the morning. By 7 a.m. you already have to be in your first location filming whatever it is, and that goes on every hour up until about 9 p.m. The reason that travel presenting is so tedious with such long hours is because producers and production companies try to get as much as they possibly can out of every location. They try to condense everything into a few days so that only the best footage makes it into the 30-minute block, the 30-minute episode that is going to be airing. A typical day also involves a lot of waiting around. In the Africa scenario, it was most likely waiting around for action to happen. Like we'd be looking at lions, waiting for them to do something, waiting for something interesting to happen so we could film it. On one of the last days, we said we haven't yet filmed a lion hunt, but we know where the lion pride is, so why don't we just go there and wait in the car for them to start hunting if they do that day. And we were sure that they would start hunting that day because they looked very hungry. Their stomachs were quite concave. And we stayed there for 8 hours and literally nothing happened. This is the lions. They were like... Lions are lazy bastards, and that day proved that point to the nth degree. We were just there for 8 hours watching them like... Ugh. So sometimes that's how it goes. And then other times you're so busy that you don't even notice the day flying by. And at the end of the day, you're like, oh my word, I just achieved this, and this, and we filmed this. And it just sort of hits you by about 10 p.m. when you're lying in bed motionless. Really interesting to compare the two actually, now that I'm talking about it. Didn't think of it before. Favorite part about travel presenting? That's easy. The travel. Obviously it's the travel, but even more than that, I just love the fact that I'm bringing hundreds and potentially, thousands of people along on this adventure with me through a camera lens. That's crazy. And I can share my passion, my enthusiasm, and this adventure that I'm having with so many others who potentially might be inspired by it. I mean, that's pretty cool. I also love meeting locals on all of these adventures that I'm going on. So for example, in Africa, I met an amazing group of women who were starting this business for girls at the local high school. I helped them raise money, and now they're running a successful, eco-friendly business. I think travel presenting makes you dig deeper inside of you than you ever thought you would. to get out traits of your personality that you never thought that you had. I was talking about fearlessness earlier, and when I first got to Africa and I read about what I was gonna do, I thought to myself, oh my word, can I really be canoeing with hippos? Can I really be the first ever person to try the world's tallest zip line? Can I be close to all these wild animals with no barrier, with no protection? But you find that the more you do it, the more adventure seeking and fearless you become. And these qualities that just emerge in you that you didn't know that you had can only come out with experiences like that. So it's really beautiful to see, and it's quite magical. Least favorite part about travel presenting and some of the challenges that I've had to overcome. The cold. Their winters in Zimbabwe were from June until August, and man, it was cold. So cold that I would sleep wearing 2 pairs of socks, 2 pairs of pants, 2 sweaters, a hat, gloves, hot water bottle, 2 blankets. True story. And then we would go out to film, and I would be wearing, millions of layers because it was 6 in the morning and still really cold. And we would see something, and I'd be thinking, oh, damn it, I have to take all this off now and talk to the camera and pretend that I'm really warm in a t-shirt when it's practically like 0 degrees at some point. I got to 0 degrees. The other thing that I found quite challenging is working with people who I've never met before over a long period of time and finding out they work at a completely different pace to me. Doesn't mean that I work better and they work worse, or they do it better and I do it worse. It just means that we have different ways of getting to that final point. And for me, it was a really hard sort of like a hard realization that I'm gonna have to just adapt to this. And I'm that kind of person that likes things done right now and well, and sometimes I get bossy and I couldn't. So it was sort of like eye twitching for me at one point. But it's okay. Once again, you just have to breathe, and you have to remember that you're all a team and you're all there for the same goal, and that is to make some great content and produce a fantastic TV show. So that's all that should matter. Not many people know this about me, but I am a secret introvert. So I get most of my energy from being alone, and that is how I recharge. Now, when you are constantly surrounded by a team, crew, a lot of different people, that's quite hard to do, no matter how much you love those people. And I really did. I felt that those few people that I was constantly surrounded by have grown to be my second family. I miss them. And when I was there, it just felt like a really great match. But having said that, I still felt the need to be alone and recharge because of how much mental and physical effort was being spent whilst filming every day. So I made that a priority, and after each location, when there was a day off, I would just lock myself in a room with no shame, and I would reflect on what I did and how I did in the past few days and what I would do better or differently in the next few days. I would just chill, I would watch movies, I would FaceTime with my family. And let me tell you, at first I felt a bit bad, because I was being antisocial, but that is absolutely fine, and it's actually necessary. If you are spending so much of your mental capacity and physical capacity doing well on camera and making the show a success, that's a small price to pay. So I highly encourage you to do that, even though it might be challenging at first, even though you might have FOMO, but just do it. It is very, very necessary, trust me. But I think the most important thing to remember here is that all the positives definitely outweigh all the negatives, at least in my experience. Like, I've never worked on a project where I was like, oh no, that wasn't worth my time, or that wasn't worth my effort. It always is, because your passion and your interest in the project and in creating that content outweighs any challenges that you might face, and the best outcome is obviously you learning from those challenges. I think that is all for today. Thank you very much for sticking around and for watching this whole long video if you have. How do I know it's going to be long? Because I can see my camera battery dying on me very slowly, so I think I should end this here before it drains itself completely. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Do I talk too much? I think I talk too much. I think that's why my friend gave me one of these to shut me up. Because everyone knows when you give me chocolate, I tend to shut up. I'll shut up now.